Captain Hyun-Ki Park stood on the bridge of the Earth Alliance vessel Dauntless, watching the strange alien ship grow larger on the view screen. The ship was beautiful, like a silver leaf floating in space, its edges glowing with soft blue light. "Armoy, communications ready?" he asked, straightening his uniform. "Yes, Captain," said Jiwoo, the young communications officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her console. "The Vexari ship is responding to our signal." This was a big day for humans. After years of sending messages into space, another intelligent species had finally answered. The Vexari had contacted Earth 6 months ago, and now, after many careful messages back and forth, it was time for the first face-to-face meeting. Dr. Taeyeon Kim joined Captain Park at the viewscreen. As the ship's xenobiologist, she had studied all the information the Vexari had shared about themselves. "Remember, Captain," she said quietly, "their society values order and precision. They might find our human ways unpredictable." Hyun-Ki nodded. "We'll be on our best behavior, Doctor." The screen flickered and an alien face appeared. The Vexari had smooth, pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer slightly. Their large, dark eyes had no pupils, and where a human would have a nose, they had only 2 small breathing slits. The alien's mouth was a thin line, and its head was hairless with delicate ridges running from forehead to neck. "Greetings from the Vexari Collective," the alien said, its voice translated by the ship's computer. "I am High Observer Zith. We welcome the human delegation." "Thank you, High Observer," Hyun-Ki replied with a small bow. "I am Captain Park of the Earth Alliance. We are honored to meet you." Something flickered across Zith's face. Was it curiosity? Concern? It was hard to read alien expressions. "Our docking bay is prepared for your shuttle," Zith said. "We have adjusted our atmosphere to match your requirements." "We appreciate your hospitality," Hyun-Ki said. "We will arrive shortly." When the screen went dark, Hyun-Ki turned to his team. "Dr. Kim, Officer Jiwoo, you'll join me on the first visit. Let's make humanity proud." The shuttle journey to the Vexari ship was short. As they approached, Dr. Kim stared out the window at the alien vessel. "It's at least 3 times the size of the Dauntless," she whispered. "Their technology must be centuries ahead of ours." The shuttle landed smoothly in a vast gleaming docking bay. Everything was clean and perfectly arranged, from the neat rows of alien crafts to the geometric patterns on the floor. As the humans stepped out, a group of Vexari approached. They all wore similar silver-gray uniforms with different colored symbols that probably showed their rank or job. High Observer Zith stepped forward. "Welcome to the Harmony of Stars." Up close, the Vexari were taller than humans, with long, thin limbs and delicate 6-fingered hands. They moved with careful precision as if each step was calculated. Zith led them through corridors of gleaming white metal. Other Vexari they passed stopped to stare at the humans. Some stepped back slightly. One younger-looking Vexari reached out as if wanting to touch Jiwoo's black hair, then quickly pulled its hand back. "Your vessel is impressive," Hyun-Ki said, to fill the silence. "It is functional," Zith replied. "We have prepared a meeting room for our discussions and a laboratory for preliminary biological scans. If you consent, we are curious about human physiology." Dr. Kim nodded. "We're happy to share basic biological data. We're equally curious about Vexari biology." Zith's head tilted slightly. "Curiosity is a quality we have noticed in your species." They entered a large room with a round table. Several Vexari were already seated, each with tablets and scanning devices. Hyun-Ki noticed small cameras or sensors in the ceiling, all pointed at where the humans would sit. "Before we begin formal talks," Zith said, "would you permit our scientists to perform non-invasive scans? It would help us better understand how to accommodate your needs during your stay." "That seems reasonable," Hyun-Ki agreed, looking at Dr. Kim, who nodded. A Vexari scientist approached with a handheld device that emitted a soft humming sound as it moved it over Hyun-Ki's body. The scientist's eyes widened, and it quickly looked at its readings. It spoke rapidly to another scientist in their native language, which sounded like musical clicks and whistles. Hyun-Ki noticed the Vexari scientists becoming agitated. They showed their readings to Zith, who stared at the humans with new intensity. "Is something wrong?" Dr. Kim asked. Zith seemed to compose itself. "No, doctor. Your biology is unexpected, different from other species we have encountered." The scanning continued with Jiwoo and Dr. Kim. With each scan, the Vexari scientists became more animated, speaking quickly among themselves and taking multiple readings. Finally, they all sat at the table. Zith's posture had changed. It sat further back from the table than before. "We are pleased to officially welcome humans to the greater galactic community," Zith said carefully. "There are currently 47 known intelligent species in our explored region of space. Your species is unique among them." "In what way?" Dr. Kim asked. Zith paused before answering. "Your biological processes operate with certain anomalies. Nothing concerning," it added quickly. "Simply different." The meeting continued with basic exchanges of cultural information. The Vexari shared details about their society, a highly organized collective that valued efficiency and harmony. They had been spacefaring for over 2,000 Earth years and had established peaceful relations with many other species. Throughout the meeting, Hyun-Ki noticed the Vexari watching them intently. When he reached for his water glass, several flinched slightly. When Dr. Kim laughed at something Jiwoo said, the aliens exchanged glances. After the meeting, they were invited to a formal reception. The large hall was filled with Vexari officials and scientists, all eager to observe the humans from a careful distance. Jiwoo was helping herself to some food when she picked up a sharp ceremonial object from the table, accidentally cutting her finger. "Ouch," she said, putting her finger in her mouth. The reaction was immediate. Several Vexari nearby stepped back quickly. One scientist rushed forward with a scanner pointing it at Jiwoo's hand. "I'm fine," she said, showing her finger. "See? Just a small cut." The scientist stared at her finger, then at its readings. The cut was already beginning to clot, a normal human healing process. The scientist turned to Zith, speaking urgently in their language. Zith's expression changed to something that looked almost like fear. Dr. Kim moved closer to Hyun-Ki. "Captain," she whispered, "I don't think they're afraid of us because they think we're dangerous. I think they're afraid of something about us, something fundamental about human biology that we don't even understand ourselves." Hyun-Ki watched as the Vexari continued to scan Jiwoo's healing finger with obvious agitation. "Whatever it is," he said quietly, "I think we've just discovered that humans are far more unusual than we ever imagined." Commander Do-Hyun Lee stared at the strange readings on his screen. For the third time that day, the energy signatures had appeared around Seoul. They came and went like ghosts, invisible to most of Earth's detection systems. "Are you sure this data is correct?" he asked, rubbing his tired eyes. Dr. Minji Kang nodded. Her small lab in the Earth Defense Research Center was filled with equipment, much of it modified with Vexari technology shared during the diplomatic exchange. "The readings are real," she said. "We would never have known about them if the Vexari hadn't given us these sensors. These energy patterns are everywhere humans gather. They're coming from us." Do-Hyun frowned. In the month since first contact, the Vexari had been polite but distant. They shared some technology but avoided spending too much time with humans. Now Do-Hyun wondered if these strange readings were the reason why. "What exactly are we seeing?" he asked. Minji pointed to the screen. "It's like a field that surrounds all humans. It's subtle but consistent. And look here." She pointed to a spike in the readings. "When people get emotional or focused on something important, the field gets stronger." "But what is it?" Do-Hyun asked. "Some kind of radiation? Electromagnetic energy?" Minji shook her head. "That's just it. It doesn't match any energy we know. It seems to interact with quantum particles somehow, like it's influencing probability at a subatomic level." Do-Hyun stared at her. "That's impossible." "According to everything we know about physics, yes," Minji agreed. "But the readings don't lie." A young technician entered the lab. "Commander, there's a message for you from the Dauntless. Captain Park says it's urgent." Meanwhile, aboard the Vexari diplomatic vessel orbiting Earth, Dr. Tyen Kim was led through a series of secure doors. Each one required the Vexari scientist, Neth, to provide both a handprint and an eye scan. "Why all the security?" she asked. Neth's voice was quiet. "What I'm about to show you. Not all my people believe humans should know this yet." They entered a small laboratory. In the center was a sealed chamber containing what looked like a piece of human skin tissue. "Is that from one of our crew?" Tyen asked, surprised. "Just a small sample freely given during medical exchanges," Neth assured her. "Please observe." Neth activated a device that projected a 3D image of the cells magnified many times. Tyen could see the normal structures, cell membranes, nuclei, mitochondria. But there was something else, a faint shimmer that seemed to surround each cell, connecting them in a complex pattern. "What am I looking at?" she asked. "We call it the quantum envelope," Neth said. "All living things have a very faint one. It's how consciousness connects to physical matter at the quantum level. But human quantum envelopes are different." Neth touched a control, and the image changed to show a comparison with what Tyen assumed was Vexari tissue. The difference was striking. The Vexari cells had only the faintest shimmer around them, barely visible. The human cells glowed brightly in comparison. "You see," Neth said, "your species exists partially outside normal space-time." Tyen struggled to understand. "What does that mean?" "It means," Neth said carefully, "that humans are walking anomalies. Your consciousness doesn't just observe quantum reality, it actively shapes it. In our language, you would be called Sanjarul Hyunsilhwa, reality dreamers." Back on Earth, Do-Hyun connected with Captain Park through a secure channel. Hyun-Ki's face on the screen looked troubled. "Commander, we've discovered something strange," Hyun-Ki said. "The Vexari have been monitoring human biology very closely. One of their scientists, Neth, has been sharing information with Dr. Kim. Apparently, humans emit some kind of quantum field that the Vexari find disturbing." "We've detected something similar here," Do-Hyun replied. "Dr. Kang has been studying energy signatures around human populations using Vexari technology. The Vexari are worried about us," Hyun-Ki continued, "not because they think we're a threat in the usual sense. They're afraid of what we are." The screen split to include Dr. Kim, who quickly explained what Neth had shown her. "So these aliens think we're some kind of reality warpers?" Do-Hyun asked skeptically. "On a very small scale, yes," Tyen said. "Neth says most species' consciousness simply observes quantum reality. Humans partially exist in a higher dimension, which allows our consciousness to subtly influence quantum probability." Minji, who had been listening quietly, suddenly spoke up. "That would explain these readings. Look at this data from yesterday." She shared her screen, showing energy spikes around a hospital. "This was recorded in the cancer ward," she explained. "A patient who was expected to die made a sudden recovery. The doctors called it a miracle. But look at the quantum field readings during those hours." The graph showed massive spikes in the strange energy. "Are you saying the patient wished himself well?" Do-Hyun asked. "Not consciously," Minji replied. "But at some level beyond normal awareness, possibly. The Vexari sensors detected a massive concentration of this energy around him during his recovery." Hyun-Ki's expression grew serious. "The Vexari ambassador has requested a meeting with Earth's leaders. I think they're going to tell us officially what Neth has been sharing with Dr. Kim." 3 days later, Do-Hyun and Minji joined the diplomatic team in the newly built Vexari embassy in Seoul. The building was a beautiful blend of human and Vexari architecture, but Do-Hyun noticed the subtle security measures everywhere. The Vexari were keeping their distance, always maintaining a careful space between themselves and humans. High Observer Zith addressed the human delegation formally. "Honored representatives of Earth, we have come to share important knowledge with you. Since our first meeting, we have observed a phenomenon in human biology that is unique among all species we have encountered." Zith activated a holographic display showing the now familiar quantum field surrounding a human figure. Your species exists partially in what we call the probability dimension. Your consciousness can influence quantum outcomes in ways that defy standard physics. This ability has been part of human evolution for thousands of years, though you have never detected it yourselves. The room was silent as the humans tried to understand the implications. What does this mean for human Vexari? Relations? Asked one of Earth's diplomats. Sith's expression was difficult to read. It means we must proceed with great care. You are the only species we have encountered whose evolution includes this trait. What you call human intuition, luck, or gut feeling are manifestations of this ability. Minji suddenly understood. That's why you're afraid of us. We've been changing reality around us without even knowing it. Zith looked directly at her. Yes, Dr. Kang. The most terrifying thing about humans is not your technology or your ambitions. It's that you have no idea what you truly are, or what you might become if you learn to control this ability consciously. As the meeting continued, Do-hyun's mind raced with the implications. Humans weren't just another intelligent species. They were something fundamentally different. And now that they knew, everything would change. Captain Hyun-ki Park was eating breakfast when the emergency alert sounded through the Dauntless. He rushed to the bridge, still buttoning his uniform jacket. Report, he ordered as he entered. Captain, we're receiving a distress signal from a Vexari research facility in orbit around Mars, said Jiwoo, her fingers flying over her console. They're reporting a containment breach and are requesting immediate assistance. What kind of containment breach? Hyun-ki asked. They won't say exactly, Jiwoo replied, but they're specifically asking for human help. Hyun-ki frowned. The Vexari asking humans for help was unusual. They were always polite, but kept humans at a distance. Set course for Mars, he ordered, and get Dr. Kim to the bridge. The Vexari research facility was a sleek silver structure orbiting Mars. As the Dauntless approached, Hyun-ki could see that part of the station was dark. Emergency lights flashed around one section. They've given us docking clearance, Jiwoo announced. A scientist commander named Neth will meet us. Dr. Kim looked up. Neth is the one who showed me the quantum envelope data. If he's involved, this must be related to their research on humans. When they docked and entered the station, Neth was waiting with several Vexari scientists. Their usual calm was gone, replaced by clear agitation. Thank you for coming so quickly, Neth said. We have a situation that only humans may be able to resolve. What happened? Hyun-ki asked. Neth led them through corridors where Vexari scientists worked frantically at control panels. The air felt strange, almost vibrating with energy. 3 days ago, we began studying a sample of human DNA, Neth explained. We were monitoring its quantum envelope in various conditions, but yesterday something unexpected occurred. They reached a sealed door with warning symbols. Through a thick window, Hyun-ki could see a laboratory. Strange light pulsed inside, and objects seemed to float randomly in the air. The laws of physics looked broken. The quantum stabilizers failed, Neth said. The human DNA sample began spontaneously rewriting the local laws of physics. Nothing in the room behaves normally anymore. Gravity fluctuates. Time moves inconsistently. Matter changes its properties randomly. How is that possible? Dr. Kim asked, staring at the chaos beyond the window. We believe, Neth said carefully, that without a conscious human mind to direct it, the quantum envelope around human DNA became unstable. It's affecting reality at a fundamental level. And you think we can fix it? Hyun-ki asked. We hope so, Neth replied. Our theory is that the presence of conscious humans might stabilize the effect. Your awareness naturally organizes the quantum field that your species generates. Back on Earth, Dr. Minji Kang received the news about the Mars research facility. She immediately called Commander Do-hyun Lee. You need to see this, she said when he arrived at her lab. I've been running tests based on the Vexari data. On her screen was a recording of a simple experiment, a small sample of human blood cells in a container, monitored by sensitive equipment. As Minji adjusted the settings, the cells began to glow with the now familiar quantum energy. Then strange things started happening around them. tiny objects moving against gravity, light bending unnaturally. I've confirmed what the Vexari discovered, Minji said. Human DNA isn't just a biological blueprint. It's also a reality, anchor. It connects our physical bodies to the higher dimension where part of our consciousness exists. Doyun shook his head in disbelief. So humans are what? Walking reality warpers? Not exactly, Minji replied. It's more like we're constantly making tiny adjustments to reality without knowing it. When someone says they have a lucky feeling or mother's intuition, they're actually sensing possibilities in the quantum field and unconsciously pushing reality toward the outcome they want. If that's true, Do-hyun said, why haven't we noticed this before? Because it's normal for us, Minji explained. We evolved this way. It's like asking a fish why it never noticed water. On the Mars station, Hyun-ki, Dr. Kim, and 2 crew members prepared to enter the affected laboratory. They wore protective suits, though Neth had explained that physical protection might not help if reality itself was unstable. Our plan, Hyun-ki said, is to reach the containment unit with the DNA sample and reactivate the quantum stabilizers. Dr. Kim will monitor our quantum envelope levels. If anything feels wrong, we retreat immediately. The team entered the laboratory. Immediately, Hyun-ki felt strange, as if his body was both heavier and lighter at the same time. Objects floated past them. A coffee cup phased in and out of existence. A computer screen showed time moving backward. This is impossible, whispered one of the crew members. Stay focused, Hyun-ki ordered. The containment unit is on the far wall. They moved carefully through the chaotic room. Dr. Kim checked her scanner. Captain, our presence is having an effect, she said. The quantum fluctuations are decreasing near us. It's like our consciousness is imposing order on the chaos. They reached the containment unit, which glowed with intense energy. The DNA sample inside pulsed with light. The stabilizer controls are here, Hyun-ki said, reaching for a panel. As his hand got close, the controls seemed to shift and warp. It keeps moving. Dr. Kim studied her readings. Captain, I think you need to imagine the controls staying still. What? The Vexari said our consciousness affects quantum reality. If that's true, then focus your mind on what you want to happen. Hyun-ki felt foolish, but he concentrated hard on the image of the control panel remaining stable. To his shock, the warping slowed, then stopped. He quickly activated the stabilizers. A wave of energy passed through the room. The floating objects fell to the floor. The strange lights faded. Reality seemed to snap back to normal. It worked, Dr. Kim said, amazed. You just consciously controlled your quantum envelope. Later, in a conference room, Neth explained what had happened to the combined human and Vexari team. All life has some connection to quantum reality, Neth said. But most species evolved to simply perceive the universe as it is. Humans evolved differently. Your consciousness exists partially outside conventional dimensions, allowing you to subtly influence quantum probability. So humans can change reality with our minds? Jiwoo asked. In small ways, yes, Neth replied. What you call human spirit or willpower is actually this ability. When humans beat the odds or achieve the impossible, they are actually bending reality slightly in their favor. And the Vexari consider this dangerous, Hyun-ki stated. Neth hesitated. We find it unpredictable. All other known species follow the laws of physics. Humans bend them. What makes this truly remarkable is that you never realized you were doing it. You thought your achievements were just determination or luck. Dr. Kim looked thoughtful. If Captain Park could consciously control this ability to stabilize the lab, what else might humans be capable of if we learned to use this ability on purpose? The question hung in the air, filling both humans and Vexari with wonder and unease. Humanity was about to discover its true nature, and nothing would ever be the same again. In the 2 weeks since the incident at the Mars research station, the news about human abilities had spread across Earth. Some people didn't believe it. Others were excited. Many were afraid. Commander Do-hyun Lee sat in an emergency meeting with world leaders. On screens around the room, scientists and military officials shared reports of strange phenomena appearing worldwide as humans began trying to test their newfound abilities. Most attempts have small or no effects, Do-hyun explained. The average person can't consciously control their quantum envelope yet. But those with strong focus or in high-stress situations are showing measurable results. A video played showing a mother lifting a fallen tree that had trapped her child, a tree too heavy for normal human strength. Her quantum readings were off the charts, Dr. Minji Kang added. She didn't just use muscle power, she temporarily changed the tree's mass and the local gravity field. The Earth's leaders looked worried. One spoke up. And the Vexari? What's their position on this development? They're concerned, Do-hyun admitted. They've increased their security measures around all diplomatic meetings. They see us as unpredictable now. Suddenly, all communication screens in the room flickered. Emergency alerts sounded on multiple devices. Sir, a young officer said, rushing into the room. We're detecting a massive energy buildup over Seoul. It's not like anything we've seen before. Captain Hyun-ki Park stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, watching the massive Vexari vessel that had just appeared in Earth orbit without warning. It was much larger than any Vexari ship they'd seen before. They're not responding to hails, Jiwoo reported. I'm detecting energy readings similar to what we saw in the Mars lab, but much stronger, Dr. Kim said from her science station. Whatever they're doing, it's affecting quantum reality. All ships, defensive positions, Hyun-ki ordered, but do not fire unless fired upon. On the main screen, they watched as a bright beam of energy shot from the Vexari vessel toward Earth, targeting Seoul. What are they doing? Jiwoo gasped. The beam isn't a weapon in the usual sense, Dr. Kim said, studying her readings. It's targeting the quantum envelope itself. On Earth, Do-hyun and Minji rushed to the roof of their building. Above the city, strange lights shimmered in the air. People in the streets below stopped to stare up at the phenomenon. Minji checked her portable scanner. It's some kind of quantum field. It's blocking the natural human quantum envelope. It's like they're trying to cut off our connection to the higher dimension. As they watched the effect spread across the city, people began to act strangely. Some looked confused. Others sat down suddenly, as if tired. A few began to cry without knowing why. Minji's scanner beeped urgently. The effect is spreading. People in the affected area are losing their connection to their quantum envelopes. They're becoming just physical. Do-hyun felt it too. A strange emptiness, as if something that had always been part of him was fading away. He hadn't known it was there until now when it was being taken from him. We need to contact the Dauntless, he said. This has to be stopped. In orbit, Hyun-ki received the reports from Earth. The affected people report feeling less than themselves, Jiwoo said, like something essential is missing. Physical laws are becoming more rigid in the affected zone. Probability curves are flattening. Quantum uncertainty is collapsing. It's a dampening field, Dr. Kim realized. It's cutting off humans from their trans-dimensional aspects. Whoever is doing this wants to make humans normal, like other species. But why? Hyun-ki asked. Fear, said a voice behind them. They turned to see Neth on the communications screen. The Vexari scientist looked troubled. There is a faction among my people called the Harmony Purists, Neth explained. They believe the universe should follow predictable, unchanging laws. They see humans as dangerous anomalies that must be corrected. They're attacking us, Hyun-ki said angrily. Not attacking, reconfiguring, Neth corrected. They believe they're helping restore natural order, but they don't understand what they're doing. Humans evolved with this connection. Severing it could have devastating consequences. How do we stop it? Hyun-ki asked. The device generating the field is on their ship, Neth said. It must be disabled directly. I can help you board, but once inside, your human abilities may be suppressed by the field. An hour later, Hyun-ki led a small team on a stealth shuttle toward the Vexari vessel. Thanks to Neth's access codes, they docked at a maintenance port, without detection. The generator will be in the central core, Neth told them through their communicators. I can guide you, but there will be security. The team moved through the ship's corridors. As they got deeper into the vessel, Hyun-Ki began to feel the same emptiness that people on Earth had reported, a hollowness where something important should be. "I can feel the dampening field," he said. "It's affecting us already." They reached a security checkpoint. 2 Vexari guards spotted them and raised weapons. "Go," Hyun-Ki shouted, diving for cover as energy blasts hit the wall behind him. The team scattered, returning fire with their stun weapons, but their movements felt slow, their reactions dulled. Without their quantum envelopes enhancing their natural abilities, they were at a disadvantage. "We need to reach the core," Hyun-Ki said. "There's no time to fight through the whole ship." He looked at the map Neth had provided. There was a maintenance shaft that could take them directly to the core, but it meant crossing an open area under guard. "Cover me," he told his team. "I'm going for the shaft entrance." Hyun-Ki took a deep breath and ran into the open. Energy blasts fired around him. One hit his shoulder, spinning him around. He fell, meters short of the shaft entrance. In that moment of pain and desperation, something shifted in Hyun-Ki's mind. He remembered how he had stabilized the controls in the Mars lab by focusing his consciousness on what he wanted to happen. Despite the dampening field, he concentrated with all his will on reaching that door. He didn't try to move his body. Instead, he tried to move possibility itself, to make it more likely that he would reach safety. For a brief moment, Hyun-Ki felt reconnected to the quantum field. Energy surged through him. To the watching Vexari guards, he seemed to blur, moving faster than should be possible, almost appearing to be in multiple places at once as probability itself warped around him. He reached the maintenance shaft and pulled himself inside. The connection faded as quickly as it had come, leaving him gasping. "Captain!" Dr. Kim's voice came through his communicator. "Your readings just spiked. You broke through the dampening field for a moment." "I felt it," Hyun-Ki said, crawling through the shaft toward the core. I think the field can't completely block our abilities. Not if we focus strongly enough." As Hyun-Ki reached the central core, he saw the massive generator creating the dampening field. Its energy pulsed outward toward Earth. He knew he had to disable it, but he was alone, injured and surrounded by Vexari security. He would need to consciously control his reality-altering abilities again. But this time, he would have to do it on purpose, not just in a moment of desperate need. The fate of humanity's unique nature hung in the balance. Hyun-Ki stared at the massive generator in the center of the Vexari ship. Its bright blue energy pulsed outward, creating the field that was cutting off humans from their quantum abilities. 6 Vexari guards stood around it, weapons ready. Hyun-Ki closed his eyes. He needed to find that connection again, the one he had briefly touched when running to the maintenance shaft. He focused his thoughts, trying to feel beyond the physical world. Nothing happened. Alarms sounded throughout the ship. More guards would arrive soon. He needed to act now. Hyun-Ki thought about what Dr. Kim had explained about human abilities. Humans didn't just observe reality, they participated in creating it. Their consciousness existed partially outside normal dimensions. "I am more than my physical body," he whispered to himself. "I've always been more." He remembered moments in his life when impossible things had happened. Surviving a car crash that should have killed him, finding his lost sister in a crowded city against all odds, passing tests he hadn't studied enough for. Had those been luck, or had he unconsciously shaped reality without knowing it? Something stirred inside him, a warmth that spread from his center outward. The emptiness he had felt began to fill with a sense of connection to everything. Hyun-Ki opened his eyes. The world looked different now. He could see faint lines of energy connecting all things. He could sense possibilities branching out from every moment, some brighter, some dimmer. He stepped out from his hiding place. The guards spotted him immediately and fired their weapons. Hyun-Ki didn't dodge. Instead, he focused on the possibility that the energy blast would miss him. To the amazed guards, their shots seemed to curve around the human, as if reality itself bent to protect him. Hyun-Ki walked forward steadily, More shots fired. None hit him. The guards backed away, frightened by what they were seeing. When he reached the generator, Hyun-Ki placed his hands on it. He could feel its energy fighting against his own. The machine was trying to suppress his quantum connection, while he was trying to maintain it through sheer will. "Captain Park," Dr. Kim's voice came through his communicator. "Your readings are incredible. You're somehow maintaining your quantum envelope despite the dampening field." "I can feel it," Hyun-Ki replied, "but I don't know how to disable this device. It's too big to destroy physically." "Try to disrupt its function," she suggested. "If your consciousness can affect reality, maybe you can make the machine stop working." Hyun-Ki focused all his attention on the generator. He pictured energy pathways inside it breaking down, connections failing, systems shutting off. He imagined the possibility of the machine failing becoming the most likely outcome of all possible futures. The generator's lights flickered. Its hum changed pitch. Sparks flew from control panels. Suddenly, the blue energy field collapsed. The generator went dark. Hyun-Ki felt a surge of power as his full connection to the quantum field returned. Around him, the Vixari guards dropped their weapons and backed away, sensing the change in him. "It's done," he said into his communicator. "The dampening field is down." In Seoul, Do-hyun and Minji watched as the strange effect over the city disappeared. People who had been affected began to stand up, looking confused but relieved. The emptiness was gone. "Look at these readings," Minji said, checking her scanner. "The quantum envelopes around people aren't just returning. They're stronger than before. It's like once people became aware of what they were losing, their connection grew stronger when it returned. All across the city, strange things began to happen. A sick child in a hospital suddenly recovered completely. A collapsing building seemed to hold itself up long enough for E